You're walking through a desert. Doesn't matter what desert it is. You see a turtle on its back. Not a turtle, a tortoise. I've already fucked this up. What are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking about Blade Runner, both the original and 2049.
Ooh, yes. As we are.
If those of you who haven't noticed, because you might have clicked on the video, you might be blind. This is from the ground up with steaming clocks. I'm Jesse.
I'm Luke.
And no, I didn't say steaming cocks. Get your mind out of the gutter.
You dirty sons of bitches.
Yep, so Blade Runner, what do you think? What do you do? What do you like?
Alright, so... I'll go through, like, my history with Blade Runner is that it was one of those things where, for years, as a nerd, I was like, I should watch this. And then a little thing called the HSC came along. And for my final year of high school, I had to study Blade Runner alongside Frankenstein.
Oh, just to quickly interrupt. Fuck you.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I had to study Pleasantville and Brett or some shit like that.
Well, the thing we studied before that was Emma by Jane Austen.
Alright.
Nothing happens in that book. They eat gruel.
Okay.
And then complain about whatever.
Look,
we're not here to
I'll
rant
pay
about.
that. You evened it out.
We're talking about Blade Runner. So yeah, and I fell in love with this movie.
Did you fall in love with this movie? Or did you fall in love with Harrison Ford's just beautifully rugged face?
Honestly, like, that's been the case since I saw A New Hope, so...
Okay.
Yeah. And then, when Blade Runner 2049 came along, I was 4 years deep into a design degree, and very excited for it. Because if you're a design nerd, you've seen Blade Runner.
Yeah, touche.
So,
That's
yeah.
right.
So, yeah. But as for you, though...
Yeah.
You've only just recently seen it.
So, I didn't watch Blade Runner until 2 weeks ago now. When I think it was your girlfriend's friend came over to watch Blade Runner.
That was the sole purpose.
And that was the sole purpose.
That and to drink a lot of wine.
Exactly. Because your girlfriend also hadn't seen Blade Runner up to that point. So
No.
I had a friend. I had a comrade in arms as we ventured into the cornucopia of metaphor that is Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, Luke.
Yes.
Pretty fucking good.
It's really good. There's a reason this movie is, like, stuck around so much. So, like, but when it came out, it was a flop.
Oh, no.
Like, it didn't make a lot of money, it wasn't well received, but it's become,
Okay, so this is an interesting thing that we can talk about here.
The different versions.
Well, yes, the different versions. Because that was an interesting thing that I think is still prevalent in modern cinema today, which we'll get to later, in talking about our opinions on 2049 and how we thought it did. But I can 100% see why a narrated, watered-down version of Blade Runner would flop like a motherfucker. Because you've essentially gutted the movie. I gotta say, people can call it a slow burn or whatever, but I was absolutely glued to the screen the entire runtime of the original Blade Runner, because it gets your mind thinking, you know? I'm sure I had a bit of an unfair advantage in that point, because, you know, Blade Runner's been out for years now, a very long time. And all you hear about is that it's laden with subtext, it's laden with imagery, is Decker a replicant or isn't he? Can you pick which one? Watch out for the clues.
which we'll get into.
Yes. So I'm sure that did a lot to pique my intrigue from the get-go, but gotta say, fucking loved it. Don't really want to sit through a narrated version. It sounds like a boring sack of piss.
Yeah, so, like, I think... Look, so I'm checking this here. I thought there was, like, 3 or 4 different versions. Turns out there's 7 different cuts of Blade Runner.
I'm fucking sorry. What?
Yeah, so the version we watched that I own, I'm pretty sure is the director's cut.
Yep.
And that's, like, the most common one, I think.
No.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the original cut had Harrison Ford narrating and falling asleep in the booth.
I'm sorry,
as he did it.
but I feel like we need to treat movies like we treat emotionally sensitive teenagers. 2 cuts is too many. Alright? We've got to stop them at 2. 7 is disturbing. Blade Runner's an emo kid who needs to be sent to the hospital.
Spicy.
13 Reasons Why I made that joke.
Did it? Alright. I haven't watched that.
It's a terrible show. We'll get into that. No, we won't. That's
We're
a
not
fucking
going to
shit
touch
show.
that. That's outside of our
It's
wheelhouse.
so dumb.
Yeah. Alright. So, we'll start. We'll go through the first one. We're not going to get into the difference. Well, we will a bit.
Everyone is angels!
Yeah. Pretty much.
No. And
Oh, this. All right. So there's heaps of biblical imagery in this and metaphors and all that, and it's not subtle.
I'm not gonna lie. I would love
Which
to
is
like.
good.
I only know I've got two off the top of my head. This and RoboCop. You want your Robo Jesus movies? Robo Christian symbolism? That's the two that I would start off.
I see your Blade Runner and RoboCop and raise you the Return of Optimus Prime from Transformers Generation 1.
Oh, trust the Transformers way to throw that shit in there.
I'll do it. It's what I'm here for.
Alright, fine. You know what? You want some real fucking Jesus media? Can't remember what it's called, but there's an anime that exists where it's just Jesus and Buddha getting a Japanese apartment together. It's fucking gold.
Okay.
Here's not a clip. Here's a GIF. You know what? I'm gonna treat yous. Here's a GIF of anime Jesus and anime Buddha just hanging out. I'm sure I've got one on my phone somewhere.
It's a pretty good GIF. Yeah,
Okay, so if we're talking about imagery, I really liked the whole idea of how many replicants escaped? Was it 5?
Oh, I think it's 5 initially.
Okay.
But like the ones you see, there's Leon, Pris, Roy Batty, who's like the ringleader. Oh, there's another one, the one with the snake. I cannot remember her name. And then I think there's another one who's been like killed off beforehand.
Look, if you hate this movie, totally valid. Like, not gonna argue with you.
Without a doubt.
It's like if it's not what you're looking for, you're gonna fucking hate it. It's just a bit fucked. I think also you got to go into the film sort of open to that shit. If you go into it just don't show anyone the end of this movie to try and sell them on this movie. It's one of the best climaxes in cinema I've ever seen because it's just such a good crescendo, you know? It's like the tone is built up quite nicely, the tension's there. You've been sitting in this nice slow burn with Deckard this entire time, and all of a sudden things just start going crazy, you know? Triss, I think it is? Pris. When Pris gets shot and starts malfunctioning, it just... That's the final trigger, you know? It's when you sort of sit that these... replicants aren't human, and it sort of it cements that in your mind as she dies, only for the final confrontation to just be off the fucking walls weird. It's fucking crazy. He's making animal noises, he's punching through walls. Yeah. It's great. It's something I'd like to get into. Maybe a different video when we're talking about like a massive amount of subtext, and it's not like the 4th video we've produced and we're already putting the audience to sleep. But if you just show me that scene, I don't think I wouldn't have gone into it. I would be like, nah, fuck this. Never gonna watch Blade Runner. Fuck Blade Runner 2049. I'm not down to clown with that shit.
Yeah. So the basic plot of the movie is there's things called replicants. They're called robots, but they're not. They're sort of genetically engineered humans. Is the idea I got. Like not robots in the mechanical sort of sense, but robots in. The term robot is an old term for slave.
Think robots, if you wanted to make the Terminator, but you didn't have the budget for a robo-skeleton, so they're just people.
Pretty much. But they can do some stuff. They can pick up a boiled egg with the bare hands.
Oh, come on. No pain receptors. There's a lot of good stuff where, like, the dehumanization of slaves. There's some good shit. It's really fucking hard to talk about Blade Runner from the 80s. It's just... There's not a lot really to talk about. It's all about your own experience.
Yeah. We're assuming that you've seen this if you're listening to it.
Fuck, if you haven't, this has been 9 minutes of fucking rambling nothings.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's probably going to be on Netflix for the foreseeable future. I can't imagine that license is fucking expensive. Go and watch it. And then come back and then and sort of... Don't agree with our ramblings, but realize why we're rambling. Because it's not... Blade Runner is like a needle in a haystack, except that needle is a cohesive thought.
Alright, so we'll go through the first one. Should we go through... Do we want to go through our own thoughts, or go through what we liked, or different parts of the film?
Let's keep it simple.
Yeah,
I think if we go too deep into a sequential order of things, we're going to get lost.
Yeah.
Let's just go nice and simple. Luke, what'd you fucking like about Blade Runner? What's your top 3? I'm going to flick a carrot.
My top 3. Oh,
like a coin.
God, not bad. Well, I know what my number 1 is, but my number 1 includes a lot of stuff. So,
Let's start
I'll
with
start with number 3. No, I'll say the big
alright.
one. Roy Batty. I really fucking like him. Especially when he goes all like crazy at the end and starts howling. It's just good. And also his speech about tears in the rain. It's good. Which ties into like something else that I like about this movie.
Whilst it was raining, oof.
And then he lets go of a dove.
The symbolism.
Ooh. Yeah, honestly, actually, you know what, the symbolism is probably another thing, because like Tyrell, who's the one who makes the replicants, he lives in like a little golden ziggurat tower, and he's at the top and all this sort of stuff.
Word of the day, people. Ziggurat.
It's good. It's a good word. I had to write that word so many fucking times in the HSC exam. Let me tell you, it's in my head.
I don't even know what it means.
It's pretty much, don't worry about it. But like, yeah, the imagery and all that, and there's still stuff which I'm just like, I've missed the first couple of times around. I'm still getting, like when we watched 2049. In the middle of it, I just realized, holy shit, it's set in Los Angeles, the city of angels.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned this when we watched the movie, and I've forgotten it in the week since.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. Nothing about the symbol. We could go on the symbolism for ages, but big theme is eyes being the window to the soul. Eyes are a big thing.
Yeah.
Tyrell, he wears big thick glasses.
Really? That's what you go through. Not the fact that the whole test to see if a replicant is a replicant is a thorough examination of the eye to see into the depths of the soul.
And then Jared Leto's character is blind. Wallace is blind in the next one. But yeah, no, my big thing is definitely like the world that they've built.
Definitely.
Yeah, so like they talk about things happening in space on other planets, but it's not important to what's happening in the movie in this like in this gritty underbelly
Some
of the city.
fucking solid 80s world building, man.
Yeah.
Just good shit.
And just like the overall aesthetic of it, like just the technology, the spinners, which are the flying cars, Deckard's pistol. If you've ever seen Adam Savage on Tested, you've probably seen at least 5 videos of him talking about the Blade Runner pistol. It's great. It's got 2 triggers. I don't know why. There's probably, I don't know, guns. But yeah.
2 rates of fire. Shoot 2 bullets at once.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
Person bullet and a replicant
Do they even
bullet.
use bullets? Is it just compressed air?
Maybe. Ooh.
Yeah. Can they afford bullets? Is it just like rocks that have been like supercharged out of... We don't know. No one knows. It's the mystery of Blade Runner. No one cares.
Yeah. No, but like the world that they made, and a lot of credit goes to the concept artist Sid Mead. I was telling you this before, but like Sid Mead, who I think unfortunately passed away recently, when he was given the task of like designing something like a coffee machine, he wouldn't just draw the coffee machine. He would draw the coffee machine on a kitchen bench in a full kitchen with like a person wearing an outfit and all that. He would go like right into it to really make sure the world is complete. Like little things like the light up umbrellas and stuff like that. It's just
okay. So here's a design question for you, because you're a graduate of industrial design, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. What do you think is the effect of that? Just to sort of get into a weird little tangent here, whilst we have time, because we always have time. Do you think that's an effective method of exploring a world, or is it just excessive effort to you?
Well, I think it pulls off a great effect. Like it feels worthy because, well, here I am talking about it.
Touche.
It's my number one favorite thing in the film is the world that they've built, and yeah, because like.
But I'm saying, if you could remove that particular technique, though, do you think that technique in and of itself is what was a core building block as to why this world is so?
I think so, because
good?
everything just fits together.
Okay.
Like sort of how dirty and like ramshackle and sort of over designed everything is. Like in Deckard's apartment, little things like the tiles on the wall, they're not just flat tiles. They've got like creases and edges and like lines etched into them, which is a nightmare for grime.
Yeah.
But it's the future. Who gives a shit? Just
all because of one coffee maker.
It's good.
All
right, your top 3.
Fuck. It's a big one. I've got to say, Rachel, man, that whole fucking character.
The shoulder pads.
Oh my god, the hair. That
hair.
fucking pomp. That pomp could knock someone out. Also, if we're just gonna talk about Rachel's hair for a second, she goes from the most dense, sculpted pompadour I've ever seen in a live action film.
Outside of a Joestar.
Outside of a motherfucking Joestar. Oh, is that Is that what we're going to talk about later on down the line? Because we're going to need time to watch that show.
Is that the motherfucking JoJo reference?
Fucking... Oh.
We'll get there.
You've locked yourself in now.
Yeah,
you fucking doomed yourself.
I have.
We're watching JoJo.
Okay.
And you're going to have to react to that shit.
Honey.
Oh. But no, like, and then she just unravels this dense chock-a-block thing of hair into a perm. Into the densest comb-breaking perm.
The 80s.
What the fuck? Magic hair. I want replicant hair.
Manufactured.
I want robot hair. Because that shit's cool.
Yeah.
But no, aside from that, her whole character. I love the direction. I love how she just handled that whole balance of what if a robot thought it was a human. But like... Well, no, it just sort of ends there. What if a robot could believably thought it was a human and tried to emulate human emotion without the experiences to inform that? It was really fucking cool. I have to say, just the replicants, man. As they die, the references to biblical ideas like fallen angels, like representations of humanity. Dude, it's a whole thing where I don't think I could ever get sick of watching that movie and talking about it. One thing that it's a habit that I have that I want to sort of get myself out of, because I find that I'm out of habit experiencing movies a little less than I usually do, is talking. I would like to remove myself from talking in film because I tend to overanalyze things, overthink stuff, and I feel like it just sort of removes me from the world of the film. I don't fucking talk in a movie theater and have the best fucking times there. Blade Runner is the opposite. I feel like that I would have the most fun every single time just watching it over and over again with the same people, with different people, doesn't fucking matter, and just chatting about it as we go.
Yeah, well, it's one of those movies, like, you want to talk about it. Just...
I mean, fuck, if you didn't, we'd be fucked. This would be 17 minutes of nothing.
Yeah.
Not
just complete silence. Maybe just occasionally just a slight little...
Not to laugh at our own jokes.
Yeah, so you can thank Ridley Scott for the joyous audio that you're experiencing.
It's kind of hard to put into words, you know?
I thought of something else that I like.
Okay, so best thing about this film for me, and it's broad, and I don't apologize for it, is the overall fucking tone. It's a perfect synthesis of risky storytelling, of world building, mixed with a tone of movies that only existed in the 80s. And it can never be recreated, which I think is a point I'm going to bring up later when I'm talking about 2049. Because it's not just the writing, it's not just the aesthetic, it's not just the acting style of the time. It's the way that a camera shoots footage back then. It's not the fact that it's not clean. Everything looks a little bit messy.
Dirty.
There's a haze of it, and as you said, like there's this whole dirty aesthetic to the whole world, and the fact that the cameras aren't super fucking HD high quality lends to that. And oh my god, it's weird. It's very fucking niche, but I love the way voices sound in microphones in 80s movies. It's got that perfect little tinny tone. Everything just built to this fucking beautiful fucking tone.
Harrison Ford's gritty mumbling.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, speaking of Harrison Ford and voices, what do you think of the bit where he pretended to be the guy working?
Dude! I was taken aback. I was like, fucking damn, Ford. Holy shit. I feel like that moment where he just perfectly does the thing, I feel like people would be embarrassed, because if they hear this, they'll be like, that was me. That's why people think he's a replicant. Because Harrison Ford's too damn good of an actor.
Yeah.
Alright, what was the thing? We heard you. We all heard you.
The score. The score.
Oh my god.
By Vangelis.
That beautiful fucking synth score.
It's just like, there's some points in the film, like, when, like, the spinners are coming down to buildings and all that. And, like, to this day, I don't know if, like, these certain sounds are part of the score or just part of, like, the sound of the world. But it's just... It's just good.
Look, I think we can both agree on this, is that Blade Runner is sort of this really beautifully unique movie that if you do love film, if you have any love for anything that goes into it, you'll only get more excited talking about Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll only like it more and more the more you watch it.
Exactly.
So, I think now it's time to jump 20 years into the future. 30 years into the future.
Yeah.
This
We're
is why I did an advanced degree.
We're going to jump 20 years in the future and go, whoa. Then go another 10 and go,
Now we're here.
Alright, so
Cool.
2049. 2049.
All right,
Shit.
first question.
Yes.
What'd you like better? 2049, Blade Runner. Just gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Shit. Like, honestly, I think... Fuck. my answer has been 2049. But the more I think about it, the more I honestly don't know. Like... Fuck. I know yours is the original.
100% the original, yeah.
But I have so much love for Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly think it is the best possible sequel they could have done. Like, that far on.
Herein is the question. Does that mean that it's good, though? I mean, it is good, don't get me wrong. But that does that mean that it is as good or better than the original Blade Runner?
Depends on what areas you look at it.
That's a no. That's a fucking no.
That's a no.
I would systematically define that as a no.
Alright, well, yeah, I think... Fuck. I guess, like, my tiers would be, like, if you put either of them on, I would be equally happy.
Okay. Well, that is a thing. Like, you're allowed to say, I can't really choose. Mm. As you said before, mine's 100% of the original Blade Runner. Oh my god. It's kind of perfect. It's not a perfect film by any means. There's definitely bits where it could be like cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, like that was a bit rapey and
no. See, I'm not gonna get back into it. I'm not. We're in 2049 now. Time travel doesn't exist. We can't go back.
Yeah.
But that's another point of like that's another moment that just leads into how fucking good that movie is. You know?
Yeah.
It really is a product of its time. It cannot ever be recreated ever again. Mm. And if we're gonna go into it, that's my inherent issue with 2049. Please do not misunderstand me. Really fucking liked the movie. It's a good movie. Like, you can't call it bad. If you try and come out of this and be like, fucking 2049 was a bad film, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Not to insult you. Not to insult your taste in movies. But you're a fucking idiot. You have a bad taste in movies. I'm insulting your taste in movies, you fucking idiot. I just, because, 2049 was always going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. Mm. Because Blade Runner, the original, is kind of accidentally perfect, you know?
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it was one of the first things I said after we finished watching 2049 is that film is the best version of that film we're ever going to get. Mm. And the further we get away from the original Blade Runner, the worse the potential Blade Runner sequel we'll ever get will be. It was never going to be as good.
Yeah.
Because the circumstances are different. We make movies differently now. In some aspects, 100% better. I think the way we tell stories now has evolved immensely. And in a lot of other ways, I dislike the way we make movies nowadays.
Yeah.
I think the original Blade Runner really ran this beautifully fine line between interesting and complicated symbolism and then being so far up its own arse it lost itself.
Yeah. And also in the first Blade Runner, like, there's no hand-holding.
Exactly.
Like, if you're not paying attention, too bad.
And this is part of my problem with 2049, because it was released in an environment where you can't take bets like that anymore. In a world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, of DC movies trying to be as big as they can, of just Disney essentially owning everything. It's a common complaint, but the fact that that Disney owns like 5 fucking major production companies now,
I honestly don't know,
including itself, it's fucking ridiculous. And there is no room to compete there. There's no room for sleeper hits as much anymore. You can't go into this being like, we're going to make a Blade Runner sequel. We're going to make it risky. We're going to make it fucking difficult to follow. We're going to make a movie that you have to fucking sit up in the auditorium to watch. And they didn't. Because of course they didn't. Because you gotta fucking... You gotta you gotta hedge your bets a little bit, and I totally fucking get it. But that's one of my things with this movie. I didn't find myself glued to the screen like I was in the original Blade Runner. And I think part of the problem with that is that the movie's too damn long. But it is. The movie's too fucking long. There's a solid half an hour in this film. Not all at once, but bits and pieces where you're like, what the fuck, man? Why are we here? I think, weirdly enough, 2049 suffers from a similar problem that Die Hard 2 suffered, where the world became too big too quickly. You know? Die Hard 1, one building, one man, one gang of terrorists. Die Hard 2, one man, his partner, police force, a city.
Is that the one with the plane at the end?
I can't remember.
Oh, wait, no, it's Die Hard 2 the one with Samuel Jackson.
Yes.
I don't know.
Or is Die Hard 2 the one? No, that one isn't an airport. What I'm saying is... okay, I admit, maybe I haven't seen Die Hard 2 recently enough to use it accurately in a metaphor. What I'm saying is the world expanded too quickly. We had to build too much of the world too quickly to try and get people into it, you know what I mean? It was a weird balance because admittedly, your brain would immediately go, but what do you mean? Like, the original created something out of nothing, and it's a super in-depth world that just sort of, like, does it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, it does do that. Because it relies on the people paying attention. And that's a facet of modern cinema that isn't really as strong, you know? When we're giving exposition, it's usually spoken nowadays. You know, it's people are telling you what's going on. It's not you being like, having to pay attention. It's not you be like, oh, they're speaking a little bit Chinese, or like there's a lot of, we're in LA, but there's a lot of like mixed cultural shit going on. No one ever says to you, hey buddy, you want to go off world? You want to go off world where things are better? It's like, no, you see billboards and shit.
You see a big blimp floating out like, saying,
yo,
move to the off-world colonies.
Exactly.
As is a giant fucking Coca-Cola ad.
No, but, and that's exactly my point, is like, you had to pay attention to this stuff. But the state of the world becomes such a big thing. Also, the scope of the story was too big for me. And I think it pushed it too far. Mm-hmm. This whole idea of a messiah, this whole idea of this one replicant, this one child being the thing that will change everything. It's like, too big. Stop. Too much. The personal stakes aren't there anymore. It's too big of a story. Mm. Why do I care? Why do I give a fuck about this imaginary 2049 that evolved from an imaginary fucking 2010?
2019.
2019 that evolved from what we thought it was going to be in the 80s. Like, why should I care? And, yeah, whatever. Also, Jared Leto's blindness was completely wanky and I hated it.
Back to, like, yeah, the eyes being windows in the soul and he's literally blind.
That's so dumb.
I think, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that character is fine, but I don't like Jared Leto. So.
Yeah, look, all credit to the dude. He's a fucking powerhouse of entertainment.
Yeah, he goes for it.
Like, he's really active in the acting world. He does really fucking hard-hitting shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's the frontman of...
And he can just, he's
a really successful band.
Yeah. I mean, he can travel in space faster than anyone else. It only takes him 30 seconds to get the bus.
Hey, there it is. But yeah, I found the character wanky as fuck, man.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah. He's so explicit about it. Just like...
You know what the cool thing about Tyrell was? He was a weird dude that had some sense of charisma, you know? You looked at him, you're like, huh.
Yeah.
I believe you built all of this. Because you've got this... He was confident, you know?
Yeah. And also, like, just little things, like the fact that he was just playing a game of chess with, like, one of his employees, JF Sebastian. Back to the first Blade Runner for a second. JF Sebastian's friends, the short one with the big nose.
Yeah.
Fucking frightening. Back to 2049.
Hey, turns out time travel is possible.
Yeah. But yeah. Let us go. Is it Wallace?
I don't care.
I think it's Wallace.
Wait,
I think
I
it's
don't-
W.
I don't
does
remember,
feel-
and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because he was boring and I hated him.
Yeah, because he literally swooped in and just like picked up the scraps of the Tyrell core.
Oh god. If there are any Death Note fans out there who haven't seen this movie,
Yep.
Wallace is essentially the near and mellow to L. You know, like he's the character where the previous character built everything up, did all the fucking hard work, was a really fucking interesting character, and then he comes in being like, but look, I've made it better. I've sorted all the problems. You wanna know what the one problem left is? Is that I'm boring.
I have floating eye robots.
Oh, it's so dumb. Just make him normal.
Alright, let's touch on something good. My favourite thing. Favorite one thing in all of these movies.
Space
First and
Thermos?
second. No, I could go into that. That's my favourite prop in Synth.
Okay.
But my favourite one thing in Blade Runner is Joy. The hologram.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll gush forever, man.
Her character and her visual effects. Oh my god.
That sinking scene. Oh, and that's
as she
sync
steps out
with
into
a
the rain.
Y and C.
Yeah. As she steps in the rain and her hologram image like catches up with the rain. It's just, oh my god.
What? Okay, look. Ryan Gosling. You're a good actor, man. Fucking solid performer. You've been in some good shit. And most women on the planet want to fuck the shit out of you. To quote a video. No, I'm not going to do that. I can't remember the quote properly, but it was a joke about, like, you couldn't do that with Ryan Gosling's dick, and that's made out of Ryan Gosling's dick, because it's Ryan Gosling's dick.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, you know, it's just the punchline. Doesn't work. Oh my god.
But yeah,
She would have been a better main character.
Well, this is sort of one of the things that I love about Kay as well. I remember going into this and thinking like, oh, they're going to try and... I was very skeptical going into 2049. I think that's why I like it so much, is because I was so happy with it.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of bumped it up a bit. But yeah, I thought going into it, I was like, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to try and keep it ambiguous if Kay's a replicant or not.
Yeah.
But literally in the opening, they're just like, oh, you newer models? I was like, okay, cool, he's a replicant.
No, it's interesting. I think that is interesting. I just don't think they played with his humanity much, you know? It really... Where Decker was his own character, had his own fucking issues, a lot of mystery to him.
We'll finish by talking about if we think he's a replicant or not.
Okay. But Kay seemed to serve more like a neutral mask sort of deal, you know? He was a replicant, he was given just enough intrigue to sort of be like, boom, awesome, get in there. But overall, he was a vessel for the audience. And I didn't agree with that. I think he could have been a more fully formed character. Again, not bad. I really fucking liked that nice little middle finger that you sort of give to the audience and their expectations of the whole, like, he's the main character, therefore he must be special. Yes? No, he's not. He's just
a guy.
He's
just a product.
He's just a product.
Literally a product.
With a lot of emotional range, which does have a lot of stuff to it. Like, 2049's still got a lot of shit to it. I just don't think it's as good. And falls into a lot of the pitfalls I find movies nowadays fall into, being too long and a bit too easy. There we go.
Yeah. I had another good character moment with Kay, which I really like. When he eventually catches up with Deckard, I think it's in Las Vegas, I'm not sure. But there's one point when the bad guys rock up and they're shooting at the building, and so they're both running. Deckard runs through a door and Kay just runs through a wall.
Oh, okay, that was pretty
love
cool.
that bit.
That was nice.
It's
that
just
was nice.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that was
good.
a cool thing. See, that would have been more interesting. I would have liked it if the movie sort of did lean a little more into the things that it can do now that it couldn't do in the 80s. Really sort of expressing what a replicant can do that a human can't, you know? I don't know. Do they have cool tech vision? Probably not. They're just humans, more or less, which is the point.
Engineered humans.
Yeah. I don't know. It would have been interesting, you know? There's a lot of cool things you can do with modern day. More joy. And you know what I mean? Just joy. Joy is the best part of this fucking movie.
Fucking great.
Because she is the part where I'm like, this could never have been done in the original.
Yeah.
And I was so fucking into it. Oh my god, I love Joy. Joy's the best character. Fuck love. Joy, Fuck love.
And-
Love joy.
Fuck love joy. Oh god, yeah, and one like just this heart wrenching moment when because Joe refers to Kay as just Joe as a nickname,
Yeah.
and then after she gets wiped out, a big billboard advertising Joy refers to him as like, you look like a good Joe. So it's like, did she actually love him, or
Oh,
was
100%.
it was just
I think it's 100%.
was it just ones and zeros? Ah.
Well, the question there is that like, are
What
we
is
not
love?
just ones and zeros? Like the whole
Maybe
thing
don't
of like,
hurt me.
don't hurt me.
No
No
more.
Well, with that,
What is that? Loves a replicant in this movie.
she is. She's all right. She's got some good moments. I liked her whole idea of supremacy.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the fact that a replicant was self-aware.
Mm.
Not just of the fact that it's a replicant, but also the fact that it is objectively and structurally better than any human could ever be. Still not as good as Joy though.
Yeah.
That was one thing that that Tim was talking about, where he's like, "Fucking love is the best." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" I got really keen for love, and then I was like, "Nah, sorry, dude. Joy is the tops. Joy is the best.
Joy is tops."
But I see I think that's an interesting thing to explore with all of this. You know, is that this idea that we attain free will and we have the most freedom within our constrictions. You know, humans become if humans attain too much freedom, if you're given too many options, you can never decide. There is freedom within restriction. You know, once you know where your boundaries are, you know everything you can act within those boundaries. And that's what I think both Joy and Love are interesting fucking ideas, because Joy was given very strict boundaries, you know? She's this sort of program, she's programmed for this sort of stuff, but she attained so much emotional freedom within those boundaries, you know?
Yeah.
That moment where she takes her time, because she's about to die. She's fully like, she's going to crush that, I'm going to die. She's like, I got to tell Kay that I love him. One last time. That's a truly human moment. And you compare her with Love, who Love has endless potential. No constraints on her programming. She's just a very quickly aged, superpowered being.
Yeah.
That has no control over her emotions. You know, she's given all the options in the world of how she can feel or think, and yet she's a fucking mess the whole time. She's driven by this idea of weird envy and rage at people, but at the end of the day, really doesn't get anything done. It's just sort of destructive to everything around her and herself. And I think that's really interesting. And there's a really interesting play on like the constrictions we put on ourselves. You know, there's the idea that we're all sort of having to constantly manage ourselves. Define where our own boundaries are, so that we know how to act and we can attain freedom that way. And replicants don't have that, because they haven't evolved that way. We've evolved without programmers and masters and all that kind of crap. So we know how to create that freedom within ourselves. And they're just still attaining that.
Yeah. No gods, no masters, eat the rich.
Damn. Is that a reference?
Sorry.
I don't know that.
We just watched Snowpiercer.
Oh, that's right.
Speaking of, post-apocalyptic shit.
Oh, damn. Trains.
Alright, I want to talk about the memory maker machine thing.
Alright, go on.
It's so pretty. It spins so well in her hand. Oh my god. So he has a character who makes memories for replicants, and she has this tool that hangs around her neck, and it spins, and it's beautiful. There's buttons on it. It's like I don't know. I don't want to marry it. This is good.
Oh my god. What are your thoughts? If you could sum up your thoughts on Blade Runner 2049, and what is the Blade Runner series?
A better way to bring Harrison Ford back to reprise an old role.
Oh, rough.
Yeah.
God damn. let's just stop bringing old actors into roles they did when they were young. It just reminds us how old they are and how old we're all going to get. It's a bummer.
They did it pretty well in this one.
They did it pretty well, but it still made me sad, man. Yeah. I just have to say that.
Well, the word that came into my head after I saw 2049 in the cinemas, and then after I rewatched the first one shortly after, was oppressive. Like, you watch these movies... I think part of this is because when I saw 2049, I saw it, like, by myself in a very nearly empty theatre. And, yeah, the entire film, I just felt, like, oppressed.
Nice. Well, that's it. Like, it's, They're old films, you know? They're films with old souls with something to say. And, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think it's... There's a weight... that you definitely feel a weight in your body when a movie gives you so much to think about. If you haven't seen them, go and watch them now.
Yeah.
Please.
In fact,
I'm gonna put text in big letters at the beginning of this.
Saying spoilers.
Spoilers, go watch the fucking movies. Both of them.
Yeah. Alright.
You know what time it is, Luke?
First we're going to talk about if Deckard's a replicant or not.
That's what I was gonna say the whole time!
Yeah, exactly, I know what time it is then. It's Deckard replicant time. It's our favourite time of the show.
No, I'm gonna say no.
I think he is.
No, that's good. Would you like to explain first? That's why you think he is.
Alright, so the big thing about replicants is, like, they've got implanted memories and shared experiences and all that. And a big thing of that is, like, photos. Like, when he's talking to Rachel, and she's like, this is a photo of, like, me and my mum and all that.
Yeah.
But we know she's replicant. Deckard has, like, heaps of photos, that similar thing there. But Gaff, his partner... At one point, Deckard has a dream of a unicorn.
Yes.
And Gaff, his partner, makes an origami unicorn and just leaves it at his apartment.
So is your theory...
This is, like, located entirely within, like, the director's cut, the version that we had. Because I understand different versions give different clues and all that. But I think, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because in 2049, when, like, Kay points to Deckard's dog and goes, is that real? And he goes, I don't know, ask him. And that's like...
Well, so here's where I would like to surmise a different theory as to whether or not he's a human or a replicant. I just think I like it more. I like the implications of him being a human. I like, because of the muddied line. You know, I think if you look at it, at all the emotional confusion in the first movie, about all the robotic things he does, that would make sense to me as him being, well, confused. Because he's a human surrounded by machines in a world that is completely artificial. But then again, and then when you move to 2049, the fact that he has a child with a replicant, I feel like if he is a human, the fact that they can then breed, for lack of a better term, is far more powerful, you know? It further blurs the line between a replicant and a human. It's essentially just like, what differs us, it's where we come from. And I think it has a much stronger message for, well, particularly nowadays as well. Like if you talk about things like race or equality, you know? If the only difference is where we come from, then are we any different at all?
Yeah. Okay. One good thing that 2049 did is that they also did not give a definitive answer.
That was
good. I
was
was terrified they were going to do that.
No, that's been a big problem with like these revivals or sequels and stuff. Like, remember that theory you had back in the day? Here's an answer. Ooh. You know what's inevitably going to happen? You're not going to fucking be happy about it.
Yeah.
Because no one is. No one ever is. Why would you be happy about a theory being answered like that so haphazardly? All right.
So we've well and truly made like the films are not given a definitive answer. So, do you know what time it is?
Is it time for a picker of genres?
We're going to pick a genre.
Hey!
Alright, so, you know the drill.
Yep,
I have a genre wheel here. I'm going to spin it. It's going to come with a genre, and we're going to make
a movie from the ground up.
Brought it back.
Right. There we go.
Let's do it. I'm going to hit the thing. Ooh.
Oh, new sounds.
Alright, spin it.
All right.
Horror.
So the classification we're using today is a future technology horror movie. So you can either choose to set it... I reckon, like, set it in a similar vein of...
Yeah, we should try and involve replicants as well. Cause,
Blade Runner?
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Well... I think the go-to one is always, like, what is the difference? Fucking who takes whose place? I I don't know. I feel like we should sit with like future tech sort of stuff, because if we're talking about replicants, it's been done a lot.
Yeah.
If I was to give you an example, fucking Us. That's just that movie. It's good.
Okay.
It's the whole idea is replicated people and like parallel what makes people human, all that sort of stuff. It's essentially that, but a horror movie.
Okay.
All right, so Luke.
Yes.
If you were to look at the world today,
Mm-hmm.
and I was to tell you, imagine this world in 20 years, and make it spooky. Yeah.
Wait, yo.
Yeah.
Measures 1 to... Oh. Okay. Am I supposed to give examples of what I think?
I don't know if I can... Yeah.
Alright.
We gotta make something out of something.
Oh, shit.
Because I'm thinking like...
Cars don't fly yet, and they still haven't invented the hoverboard.
Oh, God. We're all just sitting in our rooms quietly sobbing to ourselves.
Yeah.
There's a chain email. No, there's a chain Facebook mail text, because Facebook has eclipsed all Hotmail. It's all the same shit now, where it just sends you like old hoverboard stuff, and you become so sad you just die there.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart just stops. You're like, I'm done.
Yeah. Everyone is obsessed with this chain email that says, like, if you don't copy and paste and send this to 6 of your friends within 4 hours, you're gonna die.
But then you do!
Then you actually do! What?
Oh, Jesus.
Because your laptop turns into a little monster and rips your face off. So the chain email is actually a ghost code that rewrites your technology and turns it into... I don't fucking know, man.
The movie's name is just Ghost, but it's a 0 and a 5 instead of an O and an S.
Oh, yes. Yes. Fuck. And there's an underscore at the start. Underscore ghost.
Oh, fuck.
I think you got anything else?
No, I reckon I reckon an interesting thing would be like a Matrix style thing. I reckon this whole thing where we plug ourselves into a system, but it's I would say it's a little more brutal than your Ready Player One. You know, like here we go. All right. So the movie is we're all existing in some form of a virtual world, but the way we do it is we buy these big fucking chairs. There's needles involved. It's all a bit gross.
Bit of body horror.
Bit of body horror.
Yeah.
But
The
the punishment is if you die in this world, you don't die in real life. You're expelled forever.
Okay.
And then, so I reckon the main character is involved maybe in a murder or a... No, I'm going to say a murder. The main character is murdered. And then they have to sort of be thrust out into the world. And it's that whole thing of like trying to get back in the memories of what they were. You can be hunted by like fucked up people. And then the question is like, what world is more fucked up? The one where you're stuck in...
Yeah, the world where you were literally killed. Or the world that's actually real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could play a parallel storyline where like it gets out that it's like people. You can't really. It's not really a mystery if people go into it. But maybe there's like there's murder cults inside this virtual realm where it's like we're not actually killing people, so we're just sort of like getting in there. You could play angles where like it becomes a bounty hunter system, or like people get points. So you find a way to sort of get yourself back into this virtual realm, and it's just murder sprees. You know, you are killing people in this virtual reality so that you can get them out, and I don't know, eat them. I'm imagining 20 years from now, shit doesn't get better. Where our agricultural systems are gonna be fucked,
and then the chairs turn into little monsters and rip your face off.
Oh,
no, it'd be interesting. Like imagine like you're in this world and you literally have like a family and friends in this virtual world. You get killed, kicked out of the world, and then you literally hire hit people to take out your friends and family.
Oh, I love that.
Reconnect with them in the real world.
That's so dark. I dig it.
Yeah, because like, all right, okay.
And maybe there's a certain amount of bandwidth or something. You can play with that power of computers as it depletes. So it's that whole idea of a depleting humanity, but only a few can stay in this like ideal virtual realm where they're fed. You know, it's your body doesn't die, but you can experience flavors and stuff in the virtual reality, and it's that whole idea of like do you want to exist? What would essentially be hell? You know, like that's literal. That's a biblical parallel to hell.
Yeah.
You die in the wrong way in your life, and then you get pulled out of this nice reality into what would ostensibly be fucking some Mad Max style bullshit.
Yeah. All right. Do another one?
Yep.
All right. Let's get her out of there. Spin it. Fantasy sci-fi. Let's I mean, that's sort of what we're talking about.
I don't know. You could do a thing like a spaceship thing, like a.
I'd love to see a film set in the Blade Runner universe in the off-world colonies in space.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like, not made Blade Runner style, but just give hints that it's set within the world.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a very interesting world to set something into. You know, like how would it'd be definitely interesting to see how a replicant relationship would work with people who are colonizing.
Yeah,
you know,
because to touch on Firefly briefly, one of the things I love about Firefly, about the idea of humans spreading out into space, is that it's not going to be all like white and clean and high tech. It's going to be like, it's going to be the frontier. You're going to go out there with the basics. So
I'd love to see
I think
a scene.
humans and replicants crammed into a ship and then chucked out to the edge of space. They're not really going to care too much about where the other one came from. They're just going to be like, we're stuck in this together. I've got to help you. You've got to help me. Otherwise, we're all going to die.
Well, see, here's a thought for just a scene.
Yes.
I'd love to see a scene of like a bunch of people working a field on a farm, right? And then a military organization just comes and starts wiping people out, but no one's reacting to it. So the people are just like, oh, okay, cool. And you find out that they're just systematically wiping out replicants, and the other workers on the farm are just humans.
I like that. I like that scene a lot. Yeah.
I don't know how you'd form a movie around it, but that's a nice, cool, fucked up image I would get for a sci-fi fantasy.
That'd be good,
thing.
that'd be good, opening scene, just to really
just
drop you in the shit.
Oh,
That's good. Then the farm tools can turn into little machines and rip your face off.
Oh shit.
That's okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, we've come from the ground up, and now we're here.
Yeah. Should we do one more?
One quick
We'll
one.
make three. We'll make three. Yeah, why not? Do you want to do the honest?
Oh yes. I spun it.
The fact that I can fit this giant wheel in this little room is really impressive.
Yeah, it's
Fantasy sci-fi again. Eliminate.
Yep.
Hit it again.
boom. This is live. I'm not gonna edit this later. Ooh, mystery. I'd love to see like a mystery movie where they're using dilapidated versions of future tech. You know, like that things that exist nowadays, like these crazy fucking 3D replications of crime scenes and Batman style reconstructions of people and bullets or whatever.
Bullets and bricks, and you give them a scan, and
you can get the thumbprint off of a bullet that wouldn't have a thumbprint on it.
Yeah, off the bullet casing that wouldn't have been fired out. Whatever.
Whatever. It's fine. Still one of the best movies ever made. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's so good. But yeah, working in like a lower precinct one sort of thing, or like a private detective, like so that's a sort of situation where you can't afford the best stuff, so the characters have to get creative with how they use this future tech and solve what is going to be a cool mystery.
Yeah. It's so cool it's even a mystery to us at the moment.
Yeah. The ultimate mystery.
Alright, hear me out. There's little machines. Then they're ripping faces off.
Hey!
One more. Just, that's it. I had to do 3 for 3.
I count 4. The horse was dead.
Yeah. I'll keep beating it though. Turn it to glue.
I'll keep beating it.
To stick this joke back together.
Stop quoting high school me. Gonna keep beating it. I'm making some glue!
Oh, wow.
Whoa! How do we sign off from that?
I don't know, man. Good night, everybody.
Oh, shit.